Hey everybody! So I wanted to go over, there's a topic very generally where there's just so much information to that you could possibly go over it, but I want to go over the very basics, and that's talking about sponsoring. So this is especially for girls that maybe you want to sponsor, you never really have before, you don't really know how. These are just the general basics that you want to make sure that you're covering, or at least that you understand and you know, because then all of the rest can fall into place. So there is another video here in the channel about the benefits of actually building a team and the power of team building. So if you want to check out like why you would even care to sponsor in the first place, there's another video that talks more specifically about that. But on top of that stuff, it's instant cash bonuses and free product. When you sign a girl up, especially if it's your first girl, or especially if you haven't signed a lot of girls before promoting and that power of team building, like the compounding effect of that extra income, it's instant cash bonus and free product for you. So really, really cool to be getting girls, especially even like I said, your first one, signing up. If there's a friend that you know, one of your best friends, somebody, that's a way to make really quick money really, really quickly, even after starting your business. And even if it's been a while, doesn't matter, just general basics for going over sponsoring. I can tell you that anybody could share with you, it does get easier, especially after signing your first girl and a couple girls, because then you kind of have an understanding. When you haven't done anything before, it can be harder to navigate, honestly, just because you've never done it and it's unknown. So once you do it, it gets easier because you understand what the process can just generally look like. Essentially, whatever it is that you guys talk about when you are talking with a prospect, signing a girl means that she's buying a kit. So that's how the sponsoring conversation, at least where it's going to go to, is because it's them picking a kit, because that's what it takes for them to actually get signed up. And if you want to look in your Dropbox folder, if you look, there's a folder that says sponsoring. So there's a couple pieces of information in there, including an application. So if somebody's buying a kit, they're picking which kit they want, and there's an application. So there's a couple pieces of information that you need from them. If you can remember or get it in your brain, or if you always just have this application, then they can fill it out. But that's the information that you need to actually get somebody signed up. So it's very simple. They just buy a kit and you get this information from them, just like applying for any other job and the application that it takes. So getting them to a kit. In this folder, there's a couple different things. So just the very general basics is that you want to have little gift baggies to give to people that are interested. And there's a couple pieces of information that's in that folder that you're able to put, and then you can put whatever else to your little heart's content that you want. But you can put an application in here, put a picture of the kit so they can see what actually comes in the kits, because people are very visual, and especially seeing the value that the kit has to offer. It's not like you're just paying $300. You're paying $300 for over $800, $1,000 worth of stuff, right? So just being able to actually pinpoint what the contents are that their money is going towards. Having that in here, there's a little talk to me that basically hits to every single person. If you want to stay home with your kids, talk to me. If you want a night away from your kids, talk to me. If you want this to be full time, if you want to just supplement your income even though you have another job, if you love to shop, if you want to pay off debt, it pretty much hits kind of every single person just to get their wheels turning and know this is something that they can do. And a success letter, that's what is personal to you, about why you started, what this business has offered for you. So hitting that emotional sweet spot there for people. And then a little brochure about the sponsoring one from corporate, and then anything that you like. If there's any extras that you feel like, I have a bunch of like fake little play money, like that Monopoly money kind of. So I put a couple, and you can actually see it right there because that gets their attention. And I have $200 bills in there, and I say this is average income for a new consultant if you were to start right now and like do a party, because that, again, that's just that visual that looks like real cash, and cash speaks to people. And then I even have a little pamphlet there about our business sidelines group, and then our hashtag coaching women changing lives. Like if you want to see what it's doing for other girls on the team, then you can check out the hashtag, and there's the group where we share information. So any of that extra fun stuff, but that's something when you're meeting somebody at a party, or even if you're talking to somebody, whatever, giving this to them, it's really important to give them information. But then the even more important part on top of that is following up. If you're giving somebody one of these, follow up. And your verbiage, something that we're teaching is to say, I'm going to give you this present. This is probably going to bring up some questions for you. So I will message you tomorrow or the next day so I can answer any of your questions that you may have come up with. Like just saying that you are going to follow up with them so they know to expect that from you. And also now they know to go home and actually open this up right away. So having a present that you give to people, and then that follow-up after. Okay, those are the things that are important. Those are in the sponsoring folder. So being able to check out those, giving these gifts. That business sidelines group is then when you do follow up with people, you can ask them what their questions are, go from there with your conversation. If you ever have any questions, like if you do have a prospect, definitely message your trainer and they can help you. Whether you want to do a three-way message with your prospect or if they say, hey, somebody said this, what should I say? And absolutely whoever that is, she will walk you through that and help you be able to navigate that conversation. So it's hugely helpful, which will essentially lead to which kit they want to buy, right? Because that's what it takes to be a consultant and getting that information. Now in the sponsoring folder, there is a folder that says start to finish steps. So it's just general, it's some ordering room scenarios, it's, I have it over here, and it's the follow-up, so it says that generally add them to your get them list, give them the gift, follow up with them in a couple days, add them to that money train group, which is our business sidelines group, you can add them to, and then keeping up with them every so often and just keeping in touch with those people. Once they're interested. And then when you actually get their information, then there's a steps once they say yes, and that's exactly what I'm going over in this video for you. So once you get them signed up and everything, you're going to go to your own personal website when you have their information. So you're not going to go to the system and sign them up there. You're going to go to your own personal website. And the reason why you're doing this is so you have the control over it and not your person. Because if you say, okay, you can go ahead and sign up and like leave it for them, something could happen where they're not going to do it. So if you get their information, you can take the burden off them and make sure that it's getting done properly. So you go to your own personal website and click join. And then from there, it walks you straight through it. It's as if you were a customer or somebody else looking at your own website anyway. All right, but that's what you're going to do. So, and then once you get them signed up, then you can welcome them to the groups, add them to all the groups and say, oh my gosh, this is our new team member, add them, and that's great. For anybody that's not a trainer, you don't have to worry about training your girls. That is what is so nice, is you can just collect the money, you can be friends with them and be their biggest cheerleader, but you do not have to worry about helping get them off the ground. You can still focus on your own personal business. So for anybody not a trainer, once you do that, then you're going to want to set up a three-way message with your trainer and saying, hey, this is going to be your trainer, and letting your trainer know. So that way we can go through with the steps to get them all set up and good to go. So those are just, like I said, the very general basics. As long as you have that stuff covered, everything else will fall into place. And then anything more complex or down the road, you can always reach out to me, reach out to whoever your trainer is for more information. There's so many great trainings on sponsoring, but that's just the general stuff you want to make sure that you're doing is the gift, you're talking about it at parties, you're playing the sponsoring game, you're giving them something after, you're following up with them after the party, you're adding them to the business sidelines group so they can see from all of the trainers and all of the women on the team, so it's not just you. Because, for example, for me, maybe there's women that I meet that don't relate to me, they don't think they can do what I do because I don't have a job, I don't have kids, but they can relate to somebody else on the team that works full-time and just does this for fun and is a mom, or just, like I said, for example. So able to see from all different sorts of people and having those conversations to getting them to the kit, to getting their information, to getting them signed up and trained and good to go. So that's the general basics I wanted to cover to make sure everybody feels comfortable knowing and having a sense of what that process looks like. So we're always here for more information to reach out, but just something that you have for your reference so you can check back on this video and all the other videos anytime. So, all right, that's what we got, and I'll see you later.